Why do we think a random event is more or less likely to occur if it happened several times in the past? What is the gambler's fallacy? The gambler's fallacy describes our belief that the probability of a random event occurring in the future is influenced by previous instances of that type of event. Why it happens? First, we don't like randomness. As a result, we try to rationalize it by finding patterns or indications in the history of events similar to it even when they aren't actually related. Second, is that we often take small samples of information to represent, or speak for, the larger population from which they are drawn. This insensitivity to sample size can largely be attributed to the representativeness heuristic, through which we determine the likelihood of something happening by assessing how similar it is to past experiences. We often choose past experiences that we want future events to be similar to, or that we think should be representative of an ideal outcome. Lastly, many of us think of chance as a self-correcting process. We think that chance aims at a fair and balanced equilibrium. Deviations away from this equilibrium are restored by an opposing outcome as a chance process unfolds. 4. Example 1, Long Odds. One night at the roulette tables of a Monte Carlo casino in 1913, the roulette wheel had been repeatedly landing on black. Because the gamblers thought a red was long overdue, they started betting against black. But the ball kept on landing on black. As the trend continued, the gamblers became more convinced the next turn would be red, and increased their wagers. It was only after 26 consecutive blacks that the ball finally landed on red and the streak came to an end. This became known as the Monte Carlo fallacy, which is synonymous with gambler's fallacy. Example 2, Financial Analysis. Gambler's fallacy has been shown to affect financial analysis. Investors tend to hold on to stocks that have depreciated and sell stocks that have appreciated. For instance, they may see the continual rise of a stock's value as an indication that it will soon crash, therefore deciding to sell. Gambler's fallacy may be at work here, as investors are making decisions based on the probability of a fairly random event, the stock's price, based on the history of similar past events, the trend in its previous price points. The two are not necessarily related. Its past price trajectory in itself does not determine its future trajectory. How to avoid it? To counter the effect of this cognitive bias, we need to recognize the causal independence of the events in question. Thinking through the actual process by which an event occurs may help us realize that certain past events which resemble it don't really play a role in it unfolding. It might also be helpful to think about why you think a past event has some bearing on a future one, and evaluating the reason in a way that doesn't give too much credence to chance or superstition. The gambler's fallacy refers to our belief that the probability of a random event occurring in the future is influenced by the past history of that type of event occurring.